Hello, welcome to Vietnam Journal, our daily English news bulletin on NETVIET VTC10. I'm just speaking from Hanoi. Every day we'll bring you comprehensive and up-to-date information on Vietnam. And following our major stories on Thursday. ADB says Vietnam's foreign reserves reached $17 billion. Foreign crew to film Hanoi Total documentary. I will get to know a Vietnamese traditional music instrument preserver. Vietnam's foreign exchange reserve surged to $17 billion by the end of the first quarter. The information was released by Asian Development Bank (ADB) in its press conference to launch its Asian Development Outlook 2012 in Hanoi on Wednesday.
At the press conference, ADB's country economist Dominic Miller reported that Vietnam's foreign reserve increased sharply in 2011 due to Vietnam State Bank's active foreign currencies purchases. The figure increased by $3.5 billion compared with the one released by the International Monetary Fund in mid-2011. Speaking at the conference, ADB Country Director for Vietnam Tomoyuki Kimura stated that Vietnam's growth is forecasted to pick up to 6.2% in 2013. ADB recommended Vietnam not to lower interest rates too quickly, and Vietnam should increase transparency of the financial performance of state-owned enterprises and safeguard the banking sector.
A workshop on effects of international integration on Vietnam's economy was held in Hanoi on Tuesday as a part of a multilateral trade project between EU and Vietnam. Participants at the event put forward recommendations for Vietnamese goods import and export strategy until 2020.
A report presented at the workshop focused on Vietnam's commitments to open its market and the effects of international integration on the country's development, investment and trade in the last 10 years. Based on the report, economists provided recommendations for Vietnam to boost export and limit its trade deficit for the coming years. Vietnam is going to negotiate a free trade agreement or FTA with the EU this year after entering the World Trade Organization in 2007. The Southeast Asian country has joined FTAs with China, South Korea, India and Japan among other countries.
And following some other economic news in brief.
ING Bank will open a representative office in Hanoi on May the 7th. This is part of its plan to expand the commercial bank's network in Asia. Hanoi office will address rising demand from European clients when they develop their business in the region and Asian companies looking to build international businesses as well. ING Bank has recently arranged capital for $1.5 billion power in Vietnam.
Japan will provide $6.58 million to equip Vietnam's customs sector with modern technological applications. Launched by Japan International Cooperation Agency or JICA, the project aims to amend current illegal framework, create a viable strategy for information and technology, and develop human resources. The project will improve the efficiency of the Vietnam automated cargo clearance systems and the Vietnam Customs Information System.
Bình Thuận Province is actively preparing to export dragon fruit to Yunnan, China, as Asian markets' demand for dragon fruit is high and transportation and preservation costs could be saved. Under the dragon fruit export program, the Vietnamese province has planned to plant standard dragon fruit for export on a 700-hectare area. Bình Thuận dragon fruit has been present in the Chinese market for a long time and is now exported to 14 countries worldwide.
Genetic modification or GM plants are considered an important factor to maintain food security as climate change is strongly affecting cultivation all over the world. However, in order to grow new kinds of plants in such developing countries as Vietnam, many things need to be prepared, such as human resources, infrastructure, and the legal framework.
Vietnam's cultivating land narrows by 700,000 hectares each year. Therefore, the development and application of biotechnology become a main issue of the country's agricultural developing strategy to 2020. Between 2011 and 2015, some GM plants will be cultivated in large scale with the aim of making biotechnology account for 20 to 30% of the country's agricultural production.
Công nghệ sinh học ấy có thể giúp là để giải quyết vấn đề an ninh lương thực, ô nhiễm môi trường, vấn đề nhiên liệu cho năng lượng, nhiên liệu, rồi vấn đề bảo vệ sức khỏe là vấn đề rất lớn. Thì tất cả những cái hứa hẹn này thì nó làm cho công nghệ sinh học nó trở nên rất hấp dẫn. Và phần lớn các nước đã phát triển ấy, và kể cả nhiều nước đang phát triển như Trung Quốc, Ấn Độ, Malaysia, Singapore, Argentina chẳng hạn, thì người ta rất coi trọng công nghệ sinh học và cho công nghệ sinh học là một cái hướng đầu tư ưu tiên, là cái hướng khoa học của thế kỷ thứ 21.
The yield of GM maize cultivation is 37% higher than traditional plants, and the cost for pesticides are saved by up to 60% in the Philippines. The country has successfully applied biotechnology in order to create high quality and productivity in agriculture. In the Philippines, we have started growing GM maize on a large scale and achieved good results in both productivity and quality. With good support from our government, we have developed well-trained staff who can control modern technologies. Media also plays an important part in making GM plants more popular among people. If we keep doing research and applying the results, I believe that GM plants will help reducing food prices, maintain the food security, and protect the environment. However, Vietnam still has many hindrances in applying GM plants in mass production. They include shortcomings in human resources and infrastructure.
Cơ bản là nhân lực cả về nghiên cứu, cả về điều hành, trang thiết bị và đầu tư hạn chế thì vẫn còn thiếu thốn. Và cái thứ ba là cái hạ tầng chung của xã hội thì nó cũng gây cản trở nhiều. Chẳng hạn như là mình mà tạo ra một cái hành lang pháp lý thông thoáng, một cái hành lang pháp lý mà cho phép được ứng dụng được cái thành tựu mà về cây trồng biến đổi gen nước ngoài, thì các công ty nước ngoài họ sẽ mang những cái thành tựu đó đến để mà cùng với nông dân Việt Nam ứng dụng hiệu quả trên đồng ruộng ở Việt Nam.
Vietnam is not only focusing on R&D activities, but also developing a legal framework in order to attract more foreign companies to cultivate GM plants in the country's farms. This will help Vietnam apply new kind of GM plants more quickly and bring in many benefits for the whole society.
Vietnam Journal. It's not just news, it's life in Vietnam.
Welcome back to News Bulletin. Franco-German TV network Arte hopes to make a documentary about legendary Vietnamese turtle in Hanoi's Hoan Kiem Lake. A film crew will stay in Vietnam from April 23rd to May 11th. The information was released by Vietnam's Foreign Ministry's press center.
It will be a 45-minute documentary. The working title of the film is either The Legend of Hoan Kiem Lake or The Quest for the Turtle Lord. Luc Wolfgang, the film's director, and Rebenik, the cameraman, are the main members. They are seeking the copyrights to use videos on the treatment of the legendary turtle made by the local press last year. Turtle expert Ha Dinh Duc, a member of the committee that rescued the turtle, said that the Italian LA7 TV channel has also contacted him about making another documentary to raise the environment awareness through the story of the turtle.
The Children's Choir of Paris National Opera Orchestra will give two performances in Hanoi on April 18th and 19th. 12 French primary artists and 65 members of the choir will join the show.
The choir will perform the masterpiece L'Enfant et le Sortilège, or The Child and the Spells by Maurice Ravel. The play reflects the composer's sensitivity and love for fairy tales. Conductor Gaël Darchen will direct the choir of Maîtrise de Haut Dessin, and Sophie Méry will be in charge of the choreography of the show. The Child and the Spells is an imaginative opera composed by Maurice Ravel between 1919 and 1925 in collaboration with the French author Colette. This was Ravel's second and final opera after the Spanish Hour that he composed in 1907.
Lê Thái Sơn is considered an artisan making traditional musical instruments. He has traveled to many different areas of Vietnam to collect, study, and make different kinds of musical instruments. Let's follow our NETVIET VTC10 reporter to learn more about this man.
Artist Lê Thái Sơn has spent 35 years studying and making traditional musical instruments. After each trip, the images of tall round house and the pure sound of Trung have obsessed him. Therefore, he created an original product, Perron Zither. Playing Perron is similar to playing piano. However, the Perron player must press on the frets to create vibrations and echoes.
Cái đàn đặt tên là Perron, có nghĩa là phím thì giống piano, mà bấm đánh cũng theo kiểu như là đàn org, đàn piano. Và còn cái khung nhà của khung đàn thì là cái nhà rông, cho nên tôi gọi tắt là đàn Perron. Lúc đầu ấy thì là cái cây đàn này tôi làm là mất vài ba tháng gì đó. Tức là vừa làm vừa nghiên cứu vừa thể nghiệm để xem cái cách nào để cho nó rung nhấn nó hay được. Nhưng tất nhiên là những cái bài mà hay thì vẫn là cho Tây Nguyên và Tây Bắc. Và sau đó có những bài bản quốc tế cũng có thể chơi được.
With his passion for traditional musical instruments, particularly flute, Lê Thái Sơn has made by himself 10 whole flutes. He also teaches the other people and passes on his love for flutes through a free class open to everyone. He teaches with all his heart to those who love and want to study playing the flute.
Khi ban đầu học thì em thấy khó nhất đấy là cái cách mà mình phải mở các ngón tay để cho đúng nốt nhạc. Tại vì ban đầu thì các ngón tay của mình ấy, nó không theo ý nghĩ của mình không biết được là nốt nhạc nó như thế nào. Và thầy dạy cho em biết về cách đọc nhạc, cách thổi ra âm. Rồi đến hiện tại thì em cũng biết được chút ít và em mới đi học được vài buổi. Và em cảm thấy thầy là một người rất tâm huyết, thầy rất nhiệt tình với học trò.
Many of his students have become famous artists. He's so proud of them, he shows others the articles or certificates that he carefully keeps. They are his happiness and pride. Preserving the traditional music is a way of preserving the national culture. And Lê Thái Sơn has spent his life maintaining, developing and passing the love for the traditional music to younger generations.
The story about the traditional Vietnamese musical instrument artisan had wrapped up our news bulletin for today. For comments and feedbacks, please send an email to netvietdaily@gmail.com. Thank you for watching. I will see you tomorrow.